Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth and I am here to do a wrap up of the Big Book Summer Challenge that Sue Jackson had going this summer, and I was mistaken. I thought I had read 7 books that classified as big books, but one of them was not a big book. I was wrong on the page count. So I've really lowered the amount of books I read this summer from compared to last summer. I had good intentions to read a whole bunch of books, but that didn't happen this year. But the first book that I read that classified as a big book, Miss going by with a big base. It had to be at least 400 pages. And the first one I read that fit that criteria was The River We Remember by William Kent Kruger. And it had 421 pages. And this was the first book by William Kent Kruger that I read. And this was so good. This was about a man's body was found in the river. And it was up to the sheriff to find out who murdered this man. And so he arrested this Native American who was a war veteran. This war veteran had brought home a Japanese wife, and people were absolutely positive that this man had committed this murder, and they were ready to hang him right then. And the sheriff had to prove that this man did not kill the victim. And so, yes, it was such a good book. It was set in 1958, and both the sheriff and Noah Bluestone, which was the Native American who was arrested for the murder, were decorated war heroes. There were so many things that were done at the crime scene that were wrong. And I mean, but it was such a good book. I was so amazed at this man's writing. I know there's language in it, and there are a couple scenes with content in it, and so if that is not your thing, don't pick this up. It was actually a shock when I picked it up and it had it in it. But so, all right, the next book I read that fit this criteria was Dean Koontz' One Door Away from Heaven. This book has, I don't want to count the book that it has in here, like a, okay, 681. Oh, there's a little poem in here from the Book of Counted Sorrows. In the back it says, one door away from heaven, we live each day an hour. One door away from heaven, but it lies beyond our power to open the door to heaven and enter when we choose. One door away from heaven, and the key is ours to lose. One door away from heaven, but oh, the entry dues. Okay, it has 681 pages, and this was another 5-star read. So this book is about a 9-year-old girl who has a prosthetic leg, and her hand is also deformed. She lives with her mom and her stepdad. Her brother has she tells her neighbor Mickey that her brother has been killed by her stepdad. And Mickey, when her stepdad and her mom pick up and leave, Mickey follows them. And she also hires a private investigator, and she follows Leilani and the parents across the United States because she is worried about this little girl. And because Leilani tells her that she won't live to see her next birthday. And so she hires the private investigator to find out some things. And yeah, it's such a good book. I love this book. There's some language in it, but nothing racy or that I can remember. I know there's no, yeah, like there's anything like that in there. I can't remember. Can't remember anything like that. So I love this book. Dean Koontz is such a great writer. Okay, so the next book I read was this beauty right here, Pride and Prejudice. And this is by Jane Austen. 5-star read, as always. Jane, this Pride and Prejudice has 519 pages. And if you don't know what Pride and Prejudice is, this is a classic, and it is about Elizabeth Bennet and the Bennet family. There are 5 daughters to Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, and we meet Mr. Darcy in this wonderful book. And he's a little bit prideful, and she's a little bit prejudiced. And yes, I love this book. Okay, so I read all of those in June. And then to finish out June, I read only part of this. I only read half of this. I read Aragon by Christopher Paolini. And Aragon is about Aragon, a young boy who finds what he thinks is a stone, but it ends up hatching into a dragon. And so he nurses this dragon, and then he has to learn how to ride this dragon. And yes, so he's going to save his people. So this was definitely a 5-star read, and this had 507 pages. All right, so the next book I read was the middle of July. I did a buddy read with some of my YouTube subscribers. We read The Frozen River by Ariel Lahan, and this was a definite 5-star read. This is about a healer and a midwife who, it says she finds the frozen body, but she doesn't actually find it. 2 young men find the body. She has to go and identify it, and she kind of performs a examination on the body and decides that this man has been murdered, and this man, before he died, he had been involved in a very serious crime. And so that comes into play later on in the book. and there's a new doctor in town, and the doctor comes in after she determines that this man has been murdered, and he comes in and says, no, he is not. He died of natural causes. So then she goes and investigates on her own to find out what happened to the man. Then I read in August only one book. I only read 2 books total in August, and one was my little Agatha Christie, but the other one was Bill Clinton and James Patterson's The President is Missing. And I finished this on the 24th of August, and it has 513 pages. And let me tell you something. I don't like politics, and the language in here is very bad. I mean, it's pretty rough. There are a couple of scenes in here. Now, it doesn't go into like a whole lot of description, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, but this is an excellent book. If you listen to the audiobook, Dennis Quaid performs the voice of the president, and I mean, he is spot on. He does such an excellent job as the president, and I mean, this is such an incredible read. It's been a while since I read a James Patterson book, but I mean, this was a buddy read, and I mean, it was hard to put down. And I mean, it did take me 5 days, but I mean, it was amazing. I mean, there was a virus, and he had to figure out how to stop it. And that's all I'm going to say. It was incredible. And there was a mole. It was so good. So good. And only 6 people knew the code. His code, the president's code. He only let 6 people in. It was so good. Oh, I cannot tell you that enough. It was so good. This is an old library book, and I bought it from Thrift Books. Oh, so he's supposed to go before the select committee, special select committee, and to answer for some things that he has done. The president is, and yeah, I cannot tell you. I don't even know if I read any of the books that I said I was going to read. I did read Aragon. I did say I was going to read Aragon. So, here are the books I read for the Big Book Summer Challenge. And I can't wait till next summer to do it all again. And I hope I get even more books read. So, with that said, I would like to extend a very special thank you to Sue Jackson. I enjoyed this so much, and I wished I had read double the amount I did. I just didn't read like I normally did this summer, and what books I did read were not 400 pages or more. So, thank you, Sue, and congratulations to her winner. I don't remember the lady's name, but I will be doing this every year from now on that Sue has this challenge, and I can't wait. It was so much fun. I had so much fun, and I'm already planning. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.